A marvelous morning to everyone, children. Chandani Views welcomes you all for the online class. Subject Science. Unit number 1. And the topic is Activities of Life in Living Beings. Hi, my name is Barbie. I am going to join in this online class with you all friends. I am going to join in Chandani Views and I will attend my online class with them today. I am going to tell a story for you. Come, let us begin the story now. Hi, this is my mom. Hi everyone. Mom, are we going out? Yes, we are going to the park. Mom, there is a cat and a tree. Yes, Bobby, there is a cat and trees in our surroundings. Mom, cat is a living being? Yes. Then Mom, what about the tree? Barbie, tree is also a living being. Or the animals and plants are living being? Mom, I want to know about the living beings and difference between animals and plants. Don't worry, Bobby, let me teach you. Now I am going to teach about the living beings and its activities. Let's go to the topic now. Introduction to activities in living beings. Living beings usually are of three types. One is animals and another is plants. Then the final is human beings. Here mostly the characteristics of animals and human beings will be same, where plants will differ slight from these two categories. So there are several kinds of plants and animals, living beings around us. They are big animals and small animals too. Yes, some animals will be larger in size and some will be smaller in size. All the characteristics may also differ from each animal. Likewise, in plants also, we have big plants and small plants, where the characteristics of plants slightly differ from each other. These living things totally look different from one another, but they perform some common functions. So, all the living beings are different in their shape, size, growth, etc. But there are some common qualities which suits for all the living beings. Here we are going to see those common factors of living beings. Characteristics of living beings. Grow. So the first and foremost thing is all the living beings are able to grow. For animals and human beings, they grow up to a certain age limit. For plants, they grow for a long time. Till its life end, it grows. But in animals and human beings, they grow to certain age, and after the age is crossed, the growth will be sustained. But the age will be going up. Next, feed. So, to grow and to live in the earth, the main important thing is we have to take a food. So, all the living beings have to take a food. Without the food, they can't able to grow or live. Move. The living beings and the animals are able to move from one place to another. for a search of shelter or for foods or for their own needs. But whereas the plants are unable to move to another place, but it can make all its need in a same place where it grows. Breathe. All the living organisms can able to breathe on their own, whereas the breathing process may differ from each organism. For example, human beings can take a breath through their nose or nostril, whereas animals can take breath through their nose, but some of the animals may take their breath through their skin. For example, reptiles like lizard, leech, these are the animals that can take breath through skin. And also some aquatic animals, they used to take breath through gills, that is fish. For example, fishes have the gills in their body which is used to inhale and exhale the air. Next is response to stimuli, that is if any action has been taken place, the living organisms has to react or respond to it, that is known as response to stimuli. For example, if someone pinches you, what you will do? You will shout. So it refers that your body is reacting for that action. The reaction for an action is known as response to stimuli. Next comes reproduce and excrete. As to grow and develop their own organisms, every living beings used to do a reproduction. That is, they can produce their young ones and elaborate their group of living organism in this world. And excrete. Excrete is nothing but removal of waste materials from our body. For example, the humans can remove the waste through their anus. Like that, the plants can remove their waste through the leaves. So these are the characters that are basic and common in all the living organisms. What are they? To grow, to feed, to move, to breathe, response to stimuli, to reproduce, and to excrete. Let's see this in a brief manner. As I have already told you, look at those pictures. First picture, the plant is growing. Second picture, it is feeding its young one. See this picture. It is a plant that is touch me not. If you touch it, it automatically shrinks its body. That is, it is responding to the reaction. This comes under the category of response to stimuli. As here comes the frog, which is an example for breathe. It can breathe through skin. First one is growth. So what is referred to growth? That is, if growth is differ from an organism to organism. If you take human growth, you will born as a child. Then after 5 years, you will become a kid. After the 20 years, you will become an adult. After the 40 years, you will start attaining the aging. After 60 you will be attaining the old ages. So unto the adult, your parts of the body will grow. After that, it stops growing. Only the nails and the hairs in the part of humans and animals used to grow. Mostly the animals and the human beings has the same range of growing. Both the animals and living beings of human used to grow to a certain age limit. But when it comes to plants, it's grow till the life ends. For example, if the branches in the plants or leaf cut it off, the new branch will come. When the leaf fell down, the new leaves will come. So plants used to grow till it is dead. Yes, here comes the example of duckling and duck. The young one of the duck is known as duckling, that is baby duck. After it goes certain age, it becomes a duck. So see the image clearly. First there is a yellow duckling, that is a small duck. Then it grows somewhat large. In a next picture, the wings of the ducks starts growing. At final stage, it attains the stage of duck, that is adult of duckling. After a certain time, it does not grow, only it lives. Next, here comes the growth of human being. As I have already mentioned you, first you will be a baby. After 5 years, you will become a child. After 14 to 15 years, you will become an adult. Till age 60, you will be an adult. After that, you will become an old man or old woman. So once you attain the adult, your body parts will stop developing. Only the nails and hairs in your part used to grow. Here comes the growth of plants. As I have already told you, plants will grow to their lifelong. That is, to their life ends, it will grow. See, at starting it will have only 2 to 3 leaves, then it will have 2 to 3 branches, then the branches will expand and the tree also it used to grow. After a certain growth is used to give us fruits or flowers. Okay, once the fruits are plucked by animals or human beings, again the fruits start to grow. So the growth of plant does not stop, it extends till its lifespan. Plants continue to grow. This refers the definition. Next comes regeneration in plants. If a branch of tree is broken or damaged, new branch grows in its place. I have already told you, if the branch is cut off, what it will do? It will use to grow as a new one. But if your body parts of the human or animals used to cut, for example, the hand of the boy cuts, what happen? It won't grow. Only to a certain limit it grow. But plants continue to grow till end. That is known as regeneration. Here comes feeding. Animals cannot make their food like plants. Feeding is one of the most important thing for all the living organisms to live in this world. So for living, we are used to feeding ourselves. Like that, every organism used to feed themselves. Plants used to feed their own food with the help of the leaves. In leaf, there will be a small pores called stomata, which used to take the food that is required for a plants. But animals can't take food on their own. So what they used to do is they used to take the food from plants, or they will eat another animals. Snakes and fishes swallow their food as a whole. Yes, so for human beings and animals there will be a teeth. What is the purpose of teeth? Teeth is used to chew the food, whereas the snakes and the fishes have less number of teeth. They no need to chew the food, they can swallow it with the help of the saliva it used to digest. Okay, there is no need of chewing a food for snakes and fishes. See how it is eating. It is swallowing the full frog in a single bite. Next, blood sucking animals. Yes, I have already told you that animals won't create food on their own. They used to eat other animals. Likewise, There is also one variety of animals, the food for that is blood. They used to suck the blood from other animals or human beings. For example, leech. When the leech went inside of any animal's body by mistake, it will stick to their skin and it starts sucking all the blood from the animal. Animals like leech and mosquitoes suck blood of other animals, so they are called parasites. So the animals or the living organisms that depends a food on other animals are known as parasites. What mosquito used to do? The mosquito used to bite us. While biting us, it takes a blood from us. So the blood of a human being is becoming a food for mosquito. So it takes a food from man. Likewise, taking a food from other living being is referred as parasites. Earthworm is also like a variety of blood-sucking animals. Yes, here comes the mosquito that also used to suck a blood from us. Next, plants feeding. There is also a parasite plants. We have seen that parasites in animals. There is also a parasites in plants. Let's see this. Some plants depend on the food made by the other plants. They are called as parasites. Same the topic that is we have seen in animals. The definition also same. It is also sucking or taking the food that is required for their own plant from the other trees or plant. So, for example, Rafaela is a plant which used to take a food from other plants. That is that used to take a insects. Insects also it can eat. Green plants. Green plants prepare the food by themselves. That process is called as photosynthesis. So there are two types of plants feeding. One is parasites and another one is green plants. Whereas parasites used to take food from other plants, whereas green plants take on their own. That process is called photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis is nothing but usually the plants used to take a water from the soil with the help of the root. So they take water as a food and they used to take the sunlight for their growth. From where? From sun. And they used to take the air from the environment with the help of a leaf. I have already told you, with the help of the stomata. Stomata is a small like pores like substance that present on the leaves. So they can get water from soil, air from stomata and light from sun. All these three are an energy booster for the plants to grow. So the process of taking different kinds of substance from environment is known as photosynthesis. That is preparing a food for their own. Some plants catch insects and digest them. For example, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. These two are the plants which eat and swallow the insects. For example, in those two plants, there will be a jelly or gum like substance present in the plant or the leaf of the plant. They used to generate a jelly like substance while the insects flies and sit on the leaf. Their legs will be stuck with the jelly or the gum like substance. So after that the leaves it closes its tightly. Closes all the petals tightly and digests the food. So these are the plants which eats the insects. What are they? Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Next, movement. As I have told you before, all the animals and the human beings used to move from place to place. So we are going to see the movements of each organism. All the animals move from one place to other in search of food, shelter and mate. So they used to travel from one place to another place. For what purposes? For taking food and for being safe, that is shelter, and for their mate. This movement is called locomotion. So moving from one place to another place in a search of food, shelter and mate is known as locomotion. Locomotion is nothing but moving for a search of food and shelter. See, the elephants are moving from place to place for a shelter. In second picture, the eagle is flying and catching the fish. Catching fish is for eating. So in search of food, it is moving. Look at the other picture. The fishes are moving with their mates in search of their mate. That is another fish. Like you and your friend, you will search for your friend, right? That likewise the fish is also searching for their mate. So moving from one place to place for food, shelter and mate is known as locomotion. Next comes breathing. Living things breathe, inhale and breathe out impure air. This is called respiration. Yes, I have already told you all the living beings used to breathe. There is two type. One is inhaling the air, that is taking a fresh air, and exhaling, that is removing the impure air. So this process of inhaling and exhaling is known as respiration. It also differs from plants, animals and human beings. Let me see it in a brief. So water animals like fish breathe through gills. Okay, so fish have no nose. Instead of nose, it is placed with gills. With the help of the gills, it takes the oxygen that present in the water and releases the carbon dioxide outside, where oxygen is a energy for fish and a carbon dioxide referred to as impurities. So it exhales. Earthworms and frogs breathe through their moist skin. If you have noticed the earthworm and frogs, its skin layer will be moisture always, because due to that moisturized skin, they used to collect the fresh air to breathe. There will be a small pores in their skins which allow the air to enter inside the body and to exhale the air outside the body. Yes, here is a clear picture of the fish. See, the water flows inside the mouth. For fish, the water flows through the mouth. See the orange like substance. It will take the oxygen along with the water and releases out the water flow through the gills. That is the respiration process. Yes, see, there is a skinny like substance present in a leech. Same as in frog, there will be a moisturized skin. Next, what is this? This is a touch me not plant. If you touch this plant, it automatically shrinks it. So this is known as responding to a touch. So it is response to stimuli. Anything that causes a response in a living being is called stimuli. I have already told you. If someone pinches you, what you will do? You used to shout. So you are reacting to those person's action. The reaction for someone's action is known as stimuli. Heat, light, pain, pleasure, touch, smell, etc. or stimuli. Okay. So if you touch the heat, what you will do? You will react. If someone place a torchlight on your head or eyes, what you do? You will react to it. And pain. Yes, if anyone beats you, you will feel the pain. So pleasure. If anyone taps your skin, how you will feel? You will feel smooth. So if anyone touches, you can sense it. And if you are smelling a bad odor or a good odor, what you do? You will react. So these are stimuli. Stimuli is nothing but reaction to some action. So reaction of a living being to a stimuli is called a response. So this process of stimuli is known as a response. See the picture. The boy is touching a heat pan, that is stimuli, and after touching it he is shouting ouch because of the heat he have observed. That is known as response. Next comes excretion. Excretion is nothing but releasing out the waste from our body. It is also differ from animals and human beings from plants. So plants excrete in a different way, whereas animals and human beings more or less excrete in a same way. Living beings take food, water and air. When food digests, some waste materials are produced. Yes, we used to take food, water and air, which three are essential to live. While eating food, what the process of stomach? It used to digest the food and convert the food as energy. So it converts the food as energy and passes the energies all throughout the body part. After passing the energy, there will some waste part which we used to outlet it through the anus in human. That is known as excretion. Removal of waste from the body is excretion. It is called phases and it through the anus. So the waste material is called as phases and we are letting it out through the anus. Throwing out waste material is called excretion. So we are eating a food which gives us energy. After that energy passes, there will be some waste part that is called as phases. So we are allowing the phases through the anus to let out from our body. That waste material is known as allowing the waste material to through out from our body is known as excretion. So these are the organs which used to allow the waste materials. Plants give out carbon dioxide. CO2 is nothing but it's a chemical name of carbon dioxide. Plants give out CO2 and excess of water through stomata as a waste. I have already told you there will be a small pore-like substances. It used to take a food inside and also sends the waste outside. The process of photosynthesis as shown clear. So what are all it takes in? Carbon dioxide plus water and light. So it transfers as sugar and oxygen. Next, reproduction. As every living organisms do their reproduction on their own, extend the generation. The process of producing its own kind is called as reproduction. For example, human beings. So after a certain age, we start to create our own. That is, you will born as a baby for your mom and dad. So mom and dad are giving birth to you, that is reproducing you as a young one. Production of reproduction with their own kind. So animals like fish, birds and reptiles, they lay egg. They will lay a egg. For example, you can see a lizard. Lizard is a kind of reptile. Okay, it used to lay eggs. When the eggs broke, the small baby lizard will used to come outside. So it is reproducing through eggs. Next, mammals give birth to the young ones. So mammals are referred to as the animals or human beings that is giving milk to their young ones. They are referred as mammals. So they also can produce their young ones, that is babies. Like us humans, human here used to create a babies. Then plants produce seeds. So I have already told you reproduction will be similar to animals and human beings, whereas it's totally different for plants. What plants used to do is it used to spread out a seed. So what we are doing, we are buying a seed from nursery and we are planting it, pouring a water, then it used to grow as a plant. So the reproduction of in plants takes place through seeds. Did you understand, Bobby? Yes, Mom, I understood. Have you all understood, my friends? Do you have any doubt? So, what are the topic we have seen today? We have seen elaborately about the characteristics of living beings. What are they? Growth, feel, breathe, feed, response to stimuli, reproduction. These are the things that we have seen in today's topic. Go through it clearly, my dear children. Hope you all enjoyed this class. See you in the next class with most interesting topic. Thank you, my dear children. Have a good health. Stay safe at home. Bye. See you in next class.